Welcome to Damn Good Movie Memories with your host, Brian Davis. This podcast is the cure for your long commute and super boring workday.
Now, this being your second divorce, and I'm sure you're familiar with the procedure, but your ex-wife should not leave the state until it's finalized.
I'm not planning to leave the state.
No, she just left me. She had nothing against the land. Out of the 5 serious relationships I've had, 3 were exactly the same.
So, you all ready?
Well, I'd have to be all ready. I came here to get you.
What do you mean?
One might have been a man.
After years of relationships that never worked, John Henderson is entering a void where few have the courage to go.
I'm going to move back in with Mother.
Honey!
Hi!
How about some sherbet?
Look at the date. You're running a food museum here.
Look under the protective ice.
You've actually named the clear hard junk that sits on the top.
And here's to you, Mrs. Henderson. Your grown son is moving back today.
I want my room back.
Hey, hey, hey.
Mom, I think that he just wants to see what he can do about your relationship.
I can't hear you!
Mother!
Well, you're having problems and you're blaming me. Is that it?
So you're the writer?
Like Stephen King.
Ooh.
Well, he hasn't written anything for a while.
I don't think every mother says, honey, you look good, but your hair is
I
thinning.
never told you your hair was thinning.
You called after me? Look out for your bald spot.
Oh, well, someone has to say that.
It's all about approval. We have an approval problem in this family.
I'm going to give you some cheese.
I like my cheeses in the ounces. When they weigh as much as a Fiat, I get worried.
Albert Brooks.
Help me!
Debbie Reynolds.
You know I'm happy to see you. Now, why didn't you want to stay in a hotel?
Rob Morrow.
Of course she likes me. She loves me.
Be asleep when we get home.
Why have I never heard of this man before? I would think a man that you're intimate with is pretty important.
Dear, we're not intimate. We just have sex occasionally.
Mother.
Honey, I love you.
I know you think you do.
Oh, I have a call waiting. Hello.
It's still me, Mother.
Hello.
Still me, Mother.
Hi.
Why do you even pay for this feature?
Hey there, it's Brian Davis, and for this week's episode, we're going to cover the movie Mother from 1996. The studio Paramount Pictures release date, well, there was a limited release date in December of 1996, but the wide release was January 24th, 1997. The running time, 104 minutes with a rating of PG-13. I do not have the budget numbers, but the box office took in $19 million, which made it the 86th ranked movie of 1996. Rotten Tomatoes gives the film 88% fresh from 41 reviews. Their critics' consensus is, Albert Brooks' pugnacious insight is in fine form throughout Mother, a gentle showcase for the comedic curmudgeon and sweetly acidic Debbie Reynolds. Roger Ebert at the time gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars, and here's his review. The mother in Albert Brooks' Mother knows how to push the secret buttons to drive her son up the wall. All it takes is a slight intonation, a little pause, a wicked word choice no outsider would notice. And she's so sweet while making her subtle criticisms, why you'd almost think she didn't know what she was doing. Brooks is working with materials that look like stuff of a sitcom. There is an Odd Couple spin-off here just waiting to happen. But Brooks, who co-wrote with Monica Johnson and directed as well as stars, is much too smart to settle for the obvious gags and payoffs. All of his films depend on closely observed behavior and language, on the ways language can refuse to let us communicate, no matter how obsessively we try to nail things down. In his scenes with Reynolds, they are told quietly, conversationally. They're not pounding out with punchlines, and that's why the dialogue is so funny. Reynolds, who has not had a leading role in 27 years, has 2 scenes with Brooks that are triumphs of perfect tone and timing. One is the scene where she tries to feed him dinner. Another is when they go shopping and get into arguments and everything that goes into a shopping cart. When she selects a generic brand of peanut butter, he cries out, "Just once, I want an experience where we throw away 91 cents together." The dialogue in Mother is written so carefully that some lines carry 2 or 3 nuances. I've seen Mother twice, once at the Toronto Film Festival and again with a capacity audience in Santa Monica, California. There were lots of laughter both times, and the second time, listening closely, I recognized a certain quality in it. It wasn't the automatic laughter produced by slam dunk punchlines, but the laughter of recognition, of insight, and even sometimes of squirmy discomfort, and the truths hit close to home. The audiences appreciated the film. They seemed grateful for its invention and intelligence, which didn't insult them, and on the way out, they were repeating some of the best lines. I don't know if you can help improve your romantic life by moving back in with your mother, but it might be a help to see this movie. Maybe with your own mother. Maybe not. And that's the end of Ebert's review. Man, Ebert was spot on with his review, especially the part which mentions the audience reaction to the smart comedy dialogue in the film, because that is what Albert Brooks is truly a master at. His films are not cheap laugh flicks. It's really for an invested audience, and those that choose to go all in are absolutely rewarded in the end of his films. So I saw this movie when it was first released on video way back, and definitely enjoyed it. And I rediscovered it when our super producer and frequent past guest, Lindley, mentioned it in one of our earlier episodes. Mother is a film that is timeless and very intelligent, but it actually means more to viewers, I think, as they get older. All right, let's get into the main cast. Albert Brooks, of course, plays John Henderson, and I went through Brooks' career in the Defending Your Life episode, another amazing movie. But I will reiterate what a truly brilliant writer, director, and actor he is. His films are never blockbusters, but they are always entertaining and very honest. And like others, he wrote and directed Mother, and Monica McGowan Johnson co-wrote the screenplay to Mother. Debbie Reynolds plays Beatrice Henderson, and as Ebert mentioned, Reynolds had not had a starring role in a film in over 25 years, the last being 1971's What's the Matter with Helen. She was one of the most famous actresses and celebrities of her era, both on film and television. And of course, she was the mother of Carrie Fisher and was married to Eddie Fisher. Her best-known films included Singing in the Rain, The Unsinkable Molly Brown, and she was the voice of Charlotte in the animated classic Charlotte's Web. All right, let's get into the making of the film. So, Albert Brooks, from the start, wanted a famous 1950s actress to play the role of his mother. His first choice was Doris Day, but she turned down the role because she was very content in retirement. He also offered the role to Nancy Reagan, who was a former actress, before she had married Ronald Reagan and was named Nancy Davis. She loved the script and did consider coming out of retirement, but finally turned down the role in part to care for the former president, whose declining health continued due to Alzheimer's disease. Now, Brooks was good friends with Carrie Fisher and asked her if she could send the script to her mom. She did, and Debbie Reynolds took the part. It also led to a nice career comeback for Reynolds that continued until her death in 2016. All right, let's get into the film. It opens with John, that's Albert Brooks, and his soon-to-be ex-wife, Karen, played by Laura Weeks. They're in a lawyer's office going through the finalizing of their divorce. Now, this would be John's second divorce. As with all of Albert Brooks' films, the humor is always very smart and also very dry. For example, the lawyer asks whom he should bill. Karen says to bill John, and a bewildered John believed they were splitting the cost all along. Karen replies that he offered to pay, and John says he just threw that out there to get the ball rolling on the divorce proceedings. And Karen then leaves the office, and John says, she came with a lot of nice furniture. John goes back to his house, which is essentially empty with the exception of one living room chair and an end table, to which he moves all around the room hilariously to get it just right. John decides to drink his sorrows away with his friend Carl, played by John McGinley. McGinley is a terrific character actor in many films, and I loved him as one of the Bobs in Office Space, and he's the skinny one. Carl has a great line at the bar where he asks why John would want to keep getting married. John replies, well, he wants to have children, pass down his seed, to which Carl retorts, just go masturbate in the garden then. However, John has an epiphany while drinking with Carl, as Carl asks him what is the common theme with all of his failed relationships. John says that none of the women believed in him. And then we cut to John's mother, Beatrice, played by Debbie Reynolds.
Are either of you fellas married? One of my sons just got a divorce. They just can't seem to stay married anymore.
All right, ma'am. All hooked up and ready to go.
Well, gee, does that look a little green to you?
I don't think so.
Gee, it looks a little green to me.
No, ma'am. That's normal.
Does that look green to you?
Yes, thank you.
Mulek! شو بتحكي؟ روح من هون روح بالسيارة. شو مجنون انت؟ خليك بالسيارة.
What's wrong with him?
He's mentally ill, ma'am.
Well, see, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with this.
There is nothing wrong, ma'am. My friend did not understand you.
It doesn't look right. Let's turn it to another channel. Oh my God, that's too green.
That's the grass, ma'am. That's supposed to be green.
Oh, I think there's something wrong. I'm not going to sign for this. In the store, the picture was perfect.
The picture is fine, ma'am. I tell you what. You watch it. The House of Discounts guarantees it. If you don't like it in a couple weeks, I'll come and take it back.
Well, maybe I shouldn't sign anything until then.
Ma'am, please. I cannot leave this here unless you sign this. This picture is perfect. In the beginning, when you turn it on, green is the color that comes up the most. But then in a few minutes, it goes away.
But the television in the store looked perfect.
That's because the televisions in the stores are turned on a long time before you get there.
I don't think so. I was there at 9:15, right when they opened.
I know, ma'am, but the televisions are turned on in the middle of the night, automatically. So the color is perfect by the time people like you get there at 9:15.
Really?
Yes.
Are you sure of that?
I am positive.
All right. I'll watch for a few days and I'll let you know.
Oh, boy. I'll be waiting for that.
The TV installers leave, and then John calls Beatrice. John says, "Hi, Mom," and she answers, "Oh, hi, Jeff," which is John's brother. "Good guess, Mom. Try again." They then get into a funny conversation about how she was just talking about him to the TV installer. John is incredulous about why he would even come up in a conversation with a TV installer. And from this early scene, we get the foundation of how this movie will be and what John and his mother's relationship is like. John is a science fiction author. His first post-divorce date is with Linda, played by Lisa Kudrow.
He wrote this?
Yeah,
How did you meet him?
in the market.
And he had his book with him.
He had it in the trunk.
Did you read it?
No, but it's a real book.
Is he rich?
I don't know. He just got a divorce
When?
2 weeks ago.
Gee, that's a little soon to go out with somebody.
I'm just having dinner with him. We're not having sex.
Does he know that?
Well, he will buy dessert. Who is it?
John Henderson.
Come on in. How do I look?
Gorgeous.
Thanks. Hi, John.
Hi. Wow, you look great.
Okay. This is my roommate, Donna.
Hi.
Hi.
So, you all ready?
Well, I'd have to be all ready. I came here to get you.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Go?
Sure. See you later.
Bye.
How's the salad? Good?
Good. Yours?
Good.
Have you always wanted to be a writer?
Yes, I think I have. Who are some of your favorite authors?
Well, unlike you.
You've read my books?
No, I mean as a person.
Oh. Did you, read my book?
No, I couldn't. I had a really busy week.
Did you read The Flat?
No, actually, I didn't. Why, what was on the flap?
Well, you know, they summarize the book and tell about me. Did you look at anything at all?
I saw your picture on the back. I thought it was cute.
Hey, you read the picture then. So then, besides me, who are some of your other favorite authors?
Gee, I didn't know I'd be taking a test.
Oh, it's not a test. I'm just making conversation.
Let me see. Oh, who wrote that book about Hollywood.
Hollywood? Like a coffee table book?
No,
What book?
you know, the one where they took all those pills.
Julia Phillips.
No, I know it's not that one.
No.
Let's see. Jacqueline.
Jacqueline Suzanne?
Yes, I love her.
You don't mean...
Yes, Valley of the Dolls.
Oh.
That's it. That was it.
That's what you meant. That book was written like 30 years ago.
So, what, you can't like somebody who wrote a book a long time ago?
No, you're right.
Don't people like Charlie Chaplin? When did he write?
Charlie Chaplin wasn't a writer, he was a comedian.
No, he wasn't. He was a writer. Tale of Two Cities.
Hey, I have an idea. Let's get the check.
That went well. Man, Kudrow is good in every role she's in, and even though this is just a bit part, it's great. And John decides to have dinner with his brother Jeff, played by Rob Morrow, and his family that next night. Jeff is a successful sports agent.
Do you feel that Mother likes you?
Yeah, of course she likes me. She loves me.
But are you having the life that she thinks you should have? In other words, did she ever think that you shouldn't become an agent because you're not a great one?
I'm not a great one. I was making $100,000 out of the gate. We were all blown away, including her.
So if I sold 5 million books, you think she'd like me more?
She likes you.
But still, do you think she'd be proud of me? Do you think she'd bond with me the way she does with you?
You're a complicated guy.
Oh, so that's it then. You're a simpleton?
I'm in more of a black and white business. When I have a good year, everyone sees. Your years are not that visible.
But you don't seek her approval, huh? I mean, obviously, she doesn't criticize you. Everything's perfect.
Of course not. But she criticizes the way I raise the kids. I mean, she has opinions. It doesn't get to me.
Why does it get to me?
I don't know. I mean, we're different.
Maybe the relationship with Dad had something to do with this. Maybe Dad was different with me than he was with you.
Maybe it was.
Well, let me tell you something. This is affecting my whole life. I feel estranged from my own mother, and I don't like it. It affects everything I do, especially with women.
But you gotta just forget about it. You're grown up. I mean, there's nothing you can do.
I don't think that's true. I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm gonna move back in with...
It's funny, and you don't hear it in the last scene, but Jeff bought Beatrice a camera phone which is so antiquated, and it's just a little screen attached to a corded phone dock. Who knew FaceTime would only be 20 short years away? Anyway, we get a nice revision of Simon and Garfunkel's Mrs. Robinson as John travels from Los Angeles to the San Francisco Bay Area.
Here's to you, Mrs. Henderson. Your grown son is moving back today. Hey, hey, hey. God help him, please, Mrs. Henderson. He looks to you to help him with his life. He lost a wife again. He'd like for you to welcome him and make him feel at home. He needs to know you'd like him coming back. He knows that you are busy with problems of your own. But please, when you see him, try not to attack. Ooh, 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 please, Mrs. Henderson. Soon your house will add another one. It's your son. Remember, please, Mrs. Henderson, you're the reason why he's here at all. So, mother dear, don't drop the ball.
Where are you heading? Heading up north. Big sir? No, Big Mama. What the hell does that mean?
And here's to you, Mother Henderson. Now's the time to step up to the plate. It's your fate. Ooh, 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 please, Mother Henderson. Destiny has given you a call. It's time to take down the wall. Take down the wall.
John arrives at his mom's house and she's on the picture phone with Jeff, which is hilarious as she can never be in the frame of the camera. Also, since it's 1996, the technology moves slower than a 56K modem. In any case, in these brief scenes with Jeff, we can tell he's a bit too attached to his mom, though of course he won't admit it. Even though he isn't hungry, Beatrice pushes John to eat something, which leads to these hilarious scenes with all the freezer food that she has stored up. Because even if something is 5 years old, as long as it's in the freezer, it of course will still be good.
You know, if you'd come 2 hours earlier, we could have had dinner together. I made great beef stew. Here.
Thanks.
What else can I get for you?
No, Mother, I'll tell you, I'm really not hungry at all. I ate at a truck stop, so this is fine.
Well, I have some cold spaghetti, but it has meat sauce in it. Can you eat lamb chops?
Well, what the hell is a lamb? It's meat. I told you, I don't eat it.
Well, it's not a cow. I didn't know if it was the animal you were siding with or the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Want some cheese?
No, the salad is fine, I promise.
Oh. I'm gonna give you some cheese.
That's a lot of cheese.
Got it in hunks.
Mother, look at the date. It's 3 years old.
Well, it's been in the freezer.
Yeah, but how cheap was it that you wanted to buy this much of it?
Honey, this is wonderful cheese. It comes from Switzerland. Very hard to get.
How could it be hard to get? It's all here. I don't want the cheese.
Now, dear.
Mother, stop. I don't want any. I don't want any.
Stop.
Like this old house.
Well, I haven't even tried it.
I can tell by the gross weight I'm not going to like it. I like my cheeses in the ounces. When they weigh as much as a Fiat, I get worried.
How about some sherbet?
Uh-oh. What kind of sherbet?
Oh, what do you mean? It's delicious.
Sweet Tooth? Where do you find Sweet Tooth? I never hear of these brands. There's a Baskin & Robbins half a block from here.
Oh, I wouldn't go down there. That's a waste of money. I'm not going to fall for that.
Not going to fall for that? What are you falling for? They have ice cream in there.
Well, there's no difference. Why should I pay triple the amount when they probably go to the supermarket and buy the very same kind?
Mother, the ice cream is colorless.
Look under the protective ice.
The protective ice? You've actually named the clear, hard crap that sits on the top?
But if you don't want it, don't eat it.
You know, when I'm down and you give me these words of wisdom and you say to me, honey, you don't need to see a shrink. Just don't be hard on yourself. How can I possibly do that when I come from you? You're running a food museum here. Why can't you just go buy fresh ice cream?
And you haven't even tried it. You're making fun of the ice cream and you haven't even tasted it. It's wonderful sherbet.
I don't want it. I'm not going to taste it.
No?
I don't
You
want it.
tell me.
Oh, God, this is horribly old. Just take like an orange foot. Oh, my God almighty.
Holy, yeah.
The protective ice. You're running a food museum. John decides he doesn't want to sleep on the couch. He wants to be in his old bedroom, which is now packed with various boxes and furniture. Wow, that sounds familiar. Just like my old room, which is now a QVC showroom. John really wants to stay in his old room to bring back memories of his childhood and figure out why he is how he is as an adult. Beatrice is against her stuff being moved out, but finally relents begrudgingly. John moves all of his old childhood stuff from the garage into his room, which includes some great vintage poster like Jimi Hendrix, or the Barbarella movie with Jane Fonda, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Planet of the Apes, along with all of his old trophies and toys. To add a more modern flavor, he also brings his desktop computer with him to do some writing. John is having fun reliving his youth by jumping around and hilariously dancing to Wilson Pickett's Land of a Thousand Dances. Beatrice and John then go grocery shopping, which is another priceless scene, as she drives around and around in the parking lot trying to find the perfect spot. And then once they do get into the store, she will only buy the most generic brands possible, though she will splurge for grape nuts.
If you tell me there's a difference between salt, I'm really gonna get upset. You do not know how to market.
No, I know there's no difference between salt. I know salt's all the same.
It's all the same.
It's not all the same.
Beatrice! Hello! This is my sister. Sis, this is my neighbor, Beatrice. How do you do?
I forget your name.
Alice.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
So nice to see you, Beatrice. Alice is going to be here for a week, and then she's taking a cruise to Mexico.
Oh, my, a cruise. Oh, my.
I'm John.
Oh, this is my son. The other one.
Oh.
He's staying with me for a while. He likes this jelly.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I've heard of that. It's organic.
You've heard of it?
Oh, yes. They're very big in the catalog business.
Really?
Yes. I hear their jelly is wonderful. And you know what else? They have a peanut butter for $12 that's out of this world.
Well, just think of that. I'll leave it to my son.
So you're the writer?
Yes.
Well, he hasn't written anything for a while. But he's working on a new book.
Thanks for the intro, Mother.
What are you writing?
I'm working on a science fiction novel.
Like Stephen King.
Ooh.
Now, Stephen King could afford this jelly. My son, I'm not so sure.
Let's go. We got a lot of shopping to do.
Excuse us.
Okay.
I will speak to you, Beatrice.
All right.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to see you too, John.
Yes, nice to see you.
Nice
Have
to
a nice
meet
trip
you,
to
John.
Mexico.
Thank
Don't
you.
drink the water.
No.
Beatrice sections off her fridge so that John can have all of his food in one place, and so that he doesn't accidentally eat some meat. In a more serious scene, Beatrice is getting a bit tired of getting all of the blame of John's past relationships. John keeps trying to tie his failures to the approval he never believed he received from her, though he conveniently doesn't blame his father. John takes Beatrice out for a nice dinner, which leads to topics about why his brother met a woman and has a happy marriage, while John can never find or keep a woman. This is a great scene because both simply misunderstand each other. John puts way too much blame on his mom, while Beatrice doesn't realize that she can be overly passive-aggressive with John. Beatrice does have a great line where she said that maybe John's writing started to suffer when he stopped eating meat. The interesting part, and it subtly plays out throughout the film, is that Jeff is incredibly needy and needs to call Beatrice every day and tell her about all of his accomplishments, much like a little kid coming home from school and telling what he did. So while on the surface he might seem like he's got it all together with a nice family and a successful career, he's way more screwed up than John is. The next day, John and Beatrice go to the mall, which is as funny an adventure as you can imagine. Beatrice never goes to the mall because it's so far away, but it's really only 10 minutes from her house.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, put that down. Honey, don't play with that. Do you know how much this dog is?
Mother, I'm just petting it. I'm not Lenny in Mice and Men. What am I going to do, kill it?
But honey, look, it's over $3,000. You don't want it.
Don't want to what?
All right. Do what you want.
Hello, cutie. Hi, cutie. Oh, yes, honey, yeah.
My son's in town just for a while. That's why we're shopping today.
Normally, he doesn't live with me. He's divorced. Actually, it's his second divorce. They just can't seem to stay married anymore. I don't know.
I can't believe that you told him I was divorced.
Honey, he asked.
Oh, I'm sure he did. That's what they do in these stores. Before they can sell you a bird, they need to know your marital status. What difference does it make? What if we were man and wife?
Please.
Oh, Mother, I gotta run in here for 1 second. I gotta get a woman something very quickly.
What? You're gonna get a woman something in here?
Yeah.
Who?
Excuse me?
Welcome to Victoria's Secret. May I help you?
Yes, I'm buying my mother a pair of crotchless panties.
You what? Wonderful. Do you know what size you are, ma'am?
What size are you?
No, side. No, he's just joking. He's a writer. It's all made up. We're not getting anything. We're getting out of here. Thank you.
She's shy. Sexy, but shy.
It's an experiment, you see. I'm part of an experiment where we're things that we're not.
Beatrice can't help but overshare her life with just every quirk she runs into. Why she does this is anyone's guess. I don't think it's loneliness, but likely just a need to make small talk. I've definitely known people who just simply can't handle silence. Back to Jeff. His world comes crumbling down after Beatrice decides not to go down to Los Angeles to visit his family in order to continue to stay with John. Jeff loses it and ends up having a fight with his wife, who finally lets him have it, saying how he needs to figure out his relationship with his mom, probably more than John does. The fact that he can't live without constant contact from Beatrice is not normal or healthy. Beatrice and John go to the zoo, and when they return home, Jeff is parked in the driveway. And we finally get the full picture of Jeff's Oedipus complex.
Mom, if you can get away for 3 days, I mean, the kids, they would love to see you.
Mother, you've already made this decision. You don't have to make it again. Now, don't let him intimidate you.
Oh, honey, nobody intimidates me. Jeff, dear, I'm going to stay up here for a little while. And as I said, when I'm through, I'll come down and see everybody.
Fine. I'll just tell the kids you're not coming.
Oh, I forgot about the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, look what he's doing. What makes you think the kids want to see you anyway? Don't you think they'd rather be outside playing?
You know, I always thought that. I always thought they stayed indoors for me. Is that right, Jeff?
They love you, Mother. Don't be silly. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, don't be silly. That's right. That's what I liked to do when I was a kid. Stay inside in a darkened room with my grandmother.
I don't need this sarcastic shit. You don't want to come? Don't come. It's okay. Fine.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I feel terrible.
He succeeded now. See what he's doing to you?
Oh, honey, don't leave like this. Really, it's nothing.
Come with me. Then come with me. My God, it sounds like you're lovers.
We're lovers. You're the one that's living with her.
Well, I have some news for you. We are lovers.
That's a joke?
No, it isn't a joke. I didn't want to tell you earlier. I thought it would upset you.
No, God.
Why are you talking like this? Why would you even say something like that? It's disgusting.
Boys.
Why is it disgusting?
Because it is.
Don't you read history? It didn't start with me. I love my mother, and I love having sex with her.
Oh.
You ought to examine yourself that you can even make a joke like that.
Well, you ought to examine yourself that you take it so seriously.
And by the way, you seem to make so much fun of the picture phones. Why don't you send the one I gave you back, okay?
Hey, you know what? It's still in the box. Take it. I don't give a crap.
Keep it. I get them for free anyway.
I told you. Some gift, huh?
The hilarious part about the last scene, which wasn't evident since it's just audio, is that while John is joking around outside, Beatrice's neighbor that they ran into in the grocery store earlier is watering her plants and hearing all of John's comments, simply horrified. Anyway, Jeff's tantrum was part of the breakthrough John was looking for. The so-called well-adjusted kid was actually the one who was really messed up. John's starting to feel better about himself now. Alright, the final 30 minutes of this film are excellent. We discover more about Beatrice's past and current life, which leads to a new perspective for both John and her. I just really can't speak more highly of this fun and charming comedy. Albert Brooks is one of the most underrated filmmakers, and Debbie Reynolds was absolutely perfect in this role. One of her best. Alright, some fun facts. The reason Brooks was able to obtain the rights to the song Mrs. Robinson for his own version, which was called Mrs. Henderson, was again due to his friendship with Carrie Fisher, whose ex-husband was Paul Simon. Both Simon and Art Garfunkel always turned down offers to have the song used in commercials and other films, but Simon agreed due to the request from Fisher. Even though Debbie Reynolds plays Albert Brooks' mom, she's really only 15 years older than him. Other actresses considered for the role of Beatrice, Esther Williams and Katherine Grayson. Alright, as I alluded to earlier, we have special guest, super producer Lindley, who you know and you love, and has great insight about this terrific film that you should definitely check out. And I will be back next week to talk about yet another random movie from my DVD collection.
I'm ready.
Great. Well, I'm back with somebody. It's been way too long since you've last been on. I think the last episode you did was maybe High Fidelity.
Oh, really? I have no
think so.
recollection of anything. No, I don't know.
Or maybe it was Grosse Point Blank. It was one of the John Cusack movies.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, you know her from the beginning. It's super producer Lindley. Well, welcome back.
What is it? Damn good.
You remember the podcast you helped create.
I didn't help create. We just suggested it.
Well,
Damn
originally
good movie memories.
very good. You were supposed to be the producer for this,
right?
And much like the main character, the mother in this, you kind of squashed my dreams.
Wait, of producing? What did
I thought this was going to be a partnership.
Hey, well, now that I have so much time on my hands, we could, I don't know what I would do. I need to call and acquire guests for you, right?
Exactly. That would be a big
deal. Oh, I could do that.
Yeah. Okay, well.
With all my connections.
We'll talk afterwards. We see, before this, all the juicy stuff was happening before this because we were talking about how evil Hollywood is. So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. They've missed all. Yeah, we can't go back.
Yeah. Well, we will go back to 1996, and you and I kind of had a little conversation about how underrated Albert Brooks is, not only as an actor, but obviously as a writer and a director. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I definitely saw it. I did see Defending Your Life in the theater, and I think I saw it at a discount theater in Capitola. Yeah. It was this really old theater run by the same family, like from the 40s and 50s. Oh, wow. So when I was in college, it was still open, and they kind of played, like, maybe the movies were a little bit old or had been out for a while. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of those
they're like second run movies.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it did that, and they the candy was like 50 cents. Mm-hmm. Everybody was like, "Why don't they actually get with the times and raise their prices?" And it was run by these two old, elderly, tiny women who were twins or sisters. I thought they were twins. Now I'm not remembering. I could be wrong. And you could smoke in the theater. Like there was a smoking section in the theater. And it was when you definitely didn't smoke in mainstream theaters, right? It was very strange.
They still allowed it. Yeah, because the law, I don't know. When did the laws come in California? I want to say late 90s, maybe?
I have no idea. I mean, this was the mid 90s. So maybe you could smoke in some theaters, but you couldn't. I mean, I don't think you would. There was no smoking at like the AMC or whatever,
Yeah. It just seems so crazy. I mean, my mom used to tell me stories of when she was a little girl going to the theaters, and you just see this waft of smoke if you're up in the balcony.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, even on an airplane, the first time I was flying internationally, people were smoking on the plane. Oh, it's like at the back of the plane, everybody was smoking.
I miss the second run theaters. That used to be great, especially if you're a kid, because you could get, if it was normally $5 to get in, it'd only be like, $2.50 or $2.
Yeah. Do they have any more? I know there was one in Campbell for.
Yeah, and there was one.
I mean, probably like 20 years ago. Cupertino, that was it. Yeah,
and they just shut it down, unfortunately.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Well, in general, movie theaters are in trouble. I mean, that's even before the.
Well, now
I
know. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they also had that one that showed old movies. It was like one of the domes. Do you remember that? The Retro Dome. Was it called the Retro Dome or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that shut down too. I mean, really, the only retro thing left in the Bay Area is Stanford Theater.
Okay. Yeah. And
Which
they do those TCM ones that we went to. We saw. What did we see?
Some Like It Hot.
Some Like It Hot.
You'll be on for that one too.
Didn't we see something else? No, just Some Like It Hot.
Oh, we saw. Well, it wasn't a retro one. It was the Elton John biopic.
Oh, right. Oh, I still love that. I've seen it like 4 times. I know, and you were like, I didn't like it that much. I love it.
Yeah, it was just you love musicals, and I thought it was going to be more of a straight up biopic.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But I was happy you liked it. And so
I loved it. Yeah.
I miss going to movies
much more than Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, yeah. Okay, going back to Mother.
Sorry.
So you didn't see it in the theater. You saw it either on cable or as a rental.
Sure I saw it as a rental. I don't even think I saw it on cable. I'm sure we rented it or something. I rented it with somebody. Yeah.
So I have to thank you for kind of because I saw it right when it came out, not in the theater, but when it was released on video, and I loved it. But I've kind of forgot about it. And then you brought it up on one of the podcasts, and I revisited it, and I love it even more now. I think this is one that you appreciate as you get older.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And even like Debbie Reynolds. I mean, I think I'm surprised more people didn't discover it actually, because this was actually, I think I read that this was like her first starring role in like almost 30 years.
Right.
So I don't think she was that famous that, like how she's kind of had before she passed away, of course, but like she kind of like came back into the spotlight, right? Like she was on Will and Grace, and I think her, like the dynamic between her and Carrie Fisher, like they had a documentary about them. Have you watched that yet? It's on HBO. It's really good.
Yeah, I need to check that out now because I do have HBO now.
Good. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's very sad. I mean, it came out, I think, after they both passed away, because they passed away within like a day of each other or something, right?
Right.
Carrie died.
Carrie went first. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't think she was known as like this quirky, funny actress. Like she was just kind of like old school. People didn't really know her modern self, but Mother really, I think, encapsulates her great persona, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
her
she's
humor and her timing. Like she is just a great comedic actress. I don't know. I can't. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was, because originally Albert Brooks wanted Doris Day because he wanted to get her out of retirement.
He wanted an old school. Yeah, he wanted an old school actress, right?
And Doris Day would have been great too, because she was definitely a comedic actress. But I couldn't imagine anyone better than Debbie Reynolds.
I can't imagine anyone better than Debbie Reynolds. Yeah.
She really nailed it. And then you're right. She totally had a resurgence. Did you ever see In and Out with Kevin Kline?
Yes. Yeah. She's great in that. She's so good.
So I'm glad.
She's hilarious. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm really glad she kind of had because then she had just appeared on a bunch of TV shows after that until her death.
Yeah, and really funny in interview. I mean, she was on, I think it was on when Alec Baldwin, he may still have it. I don't know if he still does. Alec Baldwin had a podcast, but he was a good interviewer, or however you feel about Alec Baldwin. But his podcast was really funny, and he interviewed her. I mean, I swear it was like a 2-hour interview, and she is just hilarious, just like very, very funny, not intentional. She's not, I don't even know how intentional it is, just telling stories of how she got her start. Yeah, just her timing and she's just very funny. It was a very just pleasant interview. They're both pretty funny and how they, react off each other. It was good.
Yeah, and a perfect, because Albert Brooks's humor is very smart. Like it's not like slapstick funny. It's like it's kind of his kind of movies bear repeat viewing, because you're gonna probably catch something. Yeah.
Well, it's almost kind of Woody Allen-ish, though I don't want to say his name, but
Speaking of unfortunate Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of in that vein, right? That
totally. Like just very
like a lot of speaking, or a lot, not physical comedy.
Right, very cerebral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good writing. Did you? So, what are the scenes that really stood out for you for this? And,
well, of course, I just love all the food scenes. The food scene when she takes the giant block of cheese out of the freezer. Is it in the freezer or the fridge?
Everything's in the freezer.
Remember?
Yeah.
But also them just in the grocery store together, like arguing over getting the generic brand versus whatever the main brand. And then when he's like, I think she's pulling out the sherbet, and he's like, come on, we'll just go to Baskin Robbins. And she says, oh, I'm not falling for that. Because they charge so much for their ice cream. Like she was by her generic. But that also was very, like my mom was kind of like, my mom grew up very poor, where they had to choose between, shampoo or laundry detergent. She tells me these stories, and so it was that really reminded me a lot of my mom in those very weird ways. It wasn't like she was super thrifty in other ways, but when it came to food, we only had margarine all year except for on Thanksgiving we had butter. Why we couldn't afford butter the rest of the year? I think we could. She just thought it was special to just have it on Thanksgiving. It was very weird. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because even Albert Brooks kind of references it, because she mentions the depression. He's like, you were only like a kid when that the depression.
Yeah, but I think it sticks with you. So, I mean, my mom is definitely post-depression, but she could be a similar age to Debbie Reynolds. So. But she was born in 1940, so after the Depression,
Well, it's funny because then when in that shopping scene, she did get her grape nuts, and so that was her big splurge.
Yeah. Oh my God, and I grew up with grape nuts too. We always had grape nuts. That's totally insane. I wasn't allowed to have sugar cereal, but we had grape nuts.
So the other thing is I don't know if you can relate to people like this. So Debbie, she unconsciously always would talk about her son to every random person possible. Have you ever met people like this that just can't help but bring up stuff that
their children,
or just in general,
like this, we work with people like this. I hate to really, but I won't mention names, but yeah, I think that was very much also with my mom too. I think their identity is through their children, right? But then also just like the cutting insults, like about his bald spot, like she would mention his bald spot, or like you're going bald, or like his weight, just kind of like these little, yeah.
Now, do you think he put too much blame on her, or did it make sense of what he was kind of trying to figure out with her?
I mean, I think that's like a trope of that era, or men of that era, that the mother is the fault of why you can't have a relationship or whatever. I think that's just a common, so who knows. Yeah, I do think everything's your mom's fault. I've ruined my children already, so it's okay. I've accepted it.
That'll be a fun interview 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
I'm sure Sabine would be ready to talk about it, how everything I do wrong already. So Taylor is a little bit more closed mouth. But...
Oh, well, what's great about this movie is actually Albert Brooks isn't the screwed up one. It's the brother who you think has it all together.
The erotic one, right?
Yeah.
And that's a blast from the past. It's like Rob what has he done recently?
Yeah, Morrow,
yeah, he was kind of a big hit in the mid 90s, and whatever happened to his career.
Yeah, I guess he was in a TV series called Billions.
Oh, I don't know.
But I've never heard that. He's mostly a TV guy, but he plays that role well, though.
No, he's great, and it was like a sports agent or writer's agent.
Yeah, he's
like
a successful sports agent.
Yeah.
But he's so hung up on his mom.
I know. He needs her affirmation, right?
All the time. Yeah. And then Albert's just trying to get at least one stay with her, to figure out what's going on. So. What else kind of stood out for you? And when's the last time you actually went back and watched this?
Yeah, I haven't. I probably watched it the last time, again, like the last time we talked about it did we talk about it a couple of years ago? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't know how it came up. Maybe we were just talking about comedies. I don't remember, but it was a while ago. And then we also, after that, watched Defending Your Life again. Like I made my kids watch it. Mm-hmm. I didn't make them watch Mother. I didn't think they would at that, a few years ago. I didn't think they would appreciate the humor. I think even Defending Your Life was a bit of a stretch, but yeah. So it's been a while. Yeah.
That's one that totally, like everyone I recommend to that, they really enjoy it. But it's another one where I think you appreciate it more if you're a little bit older.
Yeah, I loved it right when I saw it. So I don't know. Yeah. I also love movies like that take place in heaven or in the afterlife. I don't know if you call it heaven. I loved that Shirley Temple movie. Do you remember? And I can't remember which one it is, but there's a Shirley Temple movie where she's kind of in the afterlife, I think.
Did you ever see Here Comes Mr. Jordan with Claude Rains and Robert Montgomery? It was eventually remade as Heaven Can Wait.
Oh, I know Heaven Can Wait, but I haven't seen Here Comes Mr. Jordan. Is that better than Heaven Can Wait?
It's just different. I mean, Mr. Jordan came out in the late 30s, early 40s, so it's kind of got that. He's a boxer. I forgot what Warren Beatty was. I don't know if he was a football player or something like that.
Warren Beatty was a sports person of something. Was he a tennis player?
Yeah, or something like that. And that was remade again with Chris Rock. And he was a comedian.
Oh, right. I don't think I've seen the Chris Rock version. I've definitely seen that Warren Beatty version.
Yeah. So you like Here Comes Mr. Jordan, especially.
Okay. I'll add that to my list of things to watch.
Yeah. So that's what we do here. I think you brought up this movie when we did a food episode because I think it was the sherbet. So
yeah, that's another thing in movies I really like. I don't know, food scenes or just I don't know.
Well, this movie's full of food scenes.
Yeah.
Different generation too. Like they constantly want to feed you. So.
Right, exactly. But terrible things, right? She's feeding him terrible food.
Oh yeah, like the lettuce that's wilted and
she puts her salad in the fridge or the freezer, like leftover salad in the freezer. Which is my mother-in-law does the same thing. She's obsessed with freezing stuff. We're always just completely perplexed because they have really good fresh, pita bread there. It's very different than what you can buy here. This is in Israel.
Right.
For your listening audience.
Yes, that aren't in the inside.
Yeah. Anyway, so when we go, we always, my husband always wants to buy fresh pita bread. So we'll bring, pita home and then she immediately puts it in the freezer and then defrost. Then the pita bread we eat the next day will be defrosted pita bread that she's already been freezing for several months. She'll microwave it and it's just what the hell? Could we just eat the fresh bread? It's completely nonsensical.
Like you eat it fresh for a few days, then put it in the freezer. You know?
I know, right? No, that is not how she also complains that we bring food home. It's like very strange, very like, worried about wasting food mentality.
Yeah, people are so weird about food.
Yeah. And did you grow up with an extra freezer in your garage? Like, did your mom have one of those? My mom had one of those. We had a giant freezer.
Oh, I know my neighbors did, and that was like a big deal. Like they would constantly have stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was considering getting one, and I was like, no, I can't go down that path. That's crazy.
The pandemic would be the freezer memories.
Yeah, no, this was even before the pandemic. But yeah.
The one person I wish that had a bigger role, even though she it's a great scene, is Lisa Kudrow.
I know. Is it like a blind date or something?
Yeah,
or did he date her? Was it a girlfriend or a blind date?
It was a blind date that they had. I don't know. I think they met somewhere and. They had that really awkward conversation about books and her favorite author, and it was just a bad date for them.
It was funny because when I rewatched it, I noticed I didn't know. Of course, I wouldn't have remembered who she was when I saw it, all those years ago. But then when I rewatched it, I was like, oh God, Lisa Kudrow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and this is probably when did Friends start?
It was probably a couple years after Friends, but before. I think if this was 96, did Friends start in the early 90s?
Yeah, I want to say it was
94, 95.
It wasn't too long after Seinfeld, but
right,
93, 94. Right. Yeah, so she should have been pretty popular by then.
Yeah, probably just starting to get those movie roles.
Yeah, exactly. So, final thoughts. Obviously, you'd recommend this, and
I love this movie. It's just great. I loved it, and I just really love Debbie Reynolds. Like, I think I could watch anything she's in too.
Yeah, so we'd recommend this, and definitely recommend In and Out if you want some later era.
Oh stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other movies she has been. I feel like she's done so much recently, but what other iconic crazy mother roles is she playing? I mean, she's really great in Will and Grace, and I don't even like that show that much, but I really loved when she was on it. Mm-hmm. Very similar to her actual, because she is there is that movie, right, with that Carrie Fisher wrote that stars Meryl Streep.
Yeah, Postcards from the Edge.
Postcards from the Edge, right, and the book, right, and that's actually her. So like kind of that is her.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry. So that persona is actually what she is, amplifying in the Will and Grace mother role, like just very funny performer, singing all the time and just making a big scene, and everything is all about her. So I just
definitely, if you go back and watch her, if you haven't, her early films. I mean, obviously she was in Singing in the Rain, and what was it? Unsinkable Molly Brown. Those are all real fun things.
Yeah, and you should listen to, if you can look at the Alec Baldwin, Debbie Reynolds, it's a great interview because she talks about all those and how she actually got her start. She would just kind of won a beauty contest, as a teenager, and then got almost immediately cast in, I think it's Singing in the Rain. And just how terrified she was. Then I think he tries to broach upon the sexual harassment of that era. And I don't know that she explicitly talks about it, but she kind of implicitly talks about it.
Yeah, it was almost like the actress of that era kind of just blew it off as that's what you just dealt with, which is so sad. I mean, yeah, and sick. Yeah,
right. And then her daughter experienced it as well, right? Yeah,
I know.
Anyway, I feel like we always turn to this topic. I guess it's just been a part of it.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, it's definitely prevalent now, and it's definitely worth bringing up. But
this was before the Me Too. I think this interview definitely happened well before the Me Too.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff has been out for years, and Hollywood kept covering it up too because they didn't want to eat their own. It's so weird.
I think they still are. Yeah, exactly.
They protect some and not others. So. Yeah.
Yes.
But in any case, we love Mother, so definitely check out.
Mother, highly recommend it. It's got to be one of the top movies out there.
At
least the top movie. It's got to be the best movie about a mother-son relationship. I can't really think of another one. But
I think if we were putting together something of Mother's Day movies, this
right? Definitely watch it for Mother's Day. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Winley. Don't be a stranger.
You, Brian.
Come hang out and chill with Brian A. Davis and the Bad Beat. Wednesdays, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on thatmetalstation.com.